I'm José Manuel García-Lomas and Allen-Perkins. In this video we are going to talk about the course and the different routes that the negotiations can take. Initially, negotiations can take three different routes along the whole course process of the negotiation. First, the first heading would be a divergent heading. In other words, both parties that are negotiating, each one takes a course that each time takes them farther away from a possible common objective, thereby achieving extraordinary difficulty in the process and ultimately the success of the negotiations. The second course would be in parallel course. From an initial position in parallel, both parts are advancing but maintaining the equidistant one with respect to the other, in parallel bearings. The positive thing about the direction in relation to the divergent is that at least the negotiating parties do not move farther and farther away, as happened in the first case of divergent directions. In the third case of the directions that negotiations can take, we find the convergent course. This is a positive course because both parties are getting closer and closer, and it is foreseeable that they will meet with the final objective of a successful negotiation, that is to reach a win-win. Here I would like to point out a small anecdote in relation to this parallel negotiation course. In the United States years ago, there was a strike in the coal mining sector which lasted 9 years. Unbelievable, because during those 9 years the working class was not working, unemployed, without making any money, and the coal mining industrial sector was also stopped, with all the losses that for the companies and the shareholders could have meant that 9 years strike. This case would be a good example, or rather a bad example, of a lose-lose situation. We already know that parallels meet in infinity by definition. That could be the next case because years ago I was developing a program on negotiations techniques, training for a group of senior managers of a German multinational company. And at that moment I was thinking that it was an exaggeration about the 9 years in the coal mine, although it was true. When the top manager of the German company interrupted me and told me, "José Manuel, do you know that my company in Germany was litigating with its North American sister for problems of the use of the name? During how long would you say, José Manuel?" Well, I thought maybe something more than 9 years, and the answer came from the top German executive. 42 years, José Manuel. I did not fall to the floor of the impression because I was the trainer, but to maintain a parallel course of both sides, not for 9 years as in the coal mining example in the USA, but 42 years for questions of names and patents. That did surpass everything unimaginable, but it was true. Let's talk now about the negotiation course models. As we see in the diagram, negotiator A and B, each of them can develop these three directions in negotiation that we have just pointed out, that is to say, divergent, parallel, and convergent. Let's start with the parallel course. How does it express itself? Negotiator A says to B, give me a reason to change, motivate me. Therefore, negotiator A is unchanged from the initial position, while on the other side, negotiator B expresses himself by saying, you make the first commitment, the first concession. The two negotiators maintain inflexible positions. Now let's move on to the divergent course. Negotiator A changes from general to personal issues, negatively affecting the personality of the negotiator B. Example: no, if they already told me that what an element with which you have to negotiate is an unpleasant person, very conceited, while negotiator B in the divergent course manifests a negative reaction or lack of reaction to the declarations of the other party, which means rejecting options, alternatives, and therefore a stimulus for the ego state, the states of the ego. All of this leads to negotiator A to generate climates of hostility, defensiveness, and anger, while in negotiator B we find expressions of your guilt, your problem, what are you going to do about it, you must, you can, etc. In short, unilaterality. And finally, let's move on the convergent course. Here both negotiator A and negotiator B develop points of agreement, a positive language massage to make it acceptable to both parties. The one who we mean that both parties building options, alternatives to discuss. Negotiation is a creative process, and we are forbidden to close the door to alternatives. And effective listening, all this leads negotiator A and negotiator B to develop common tasks and interests and become aware that we need each other. Instead of unilaterality of the divergent course, we pass to the mutuality of the convergent course. And this scheme summarizes what the course of the process of a negotiation could be with the different routes that the negotiation can take. If you are interested in our videos, I suggest that you give a like and subscribe to our channel for the videos that are to come.